This is a review of my trading performance on Zero DTE, the Zero DTE service. And so what I'm going to do today is go through the trade log that I've been keeping for the past 206 calendar days. I kept a not so similar trade log for the first year of the performance, but this would be for the second half, we're now about a year and a half into the existence of this service. So I've been keeping this trade log since the beginning of the summer of 2021. And there are a lot of important highlights to go over and various things that you need to know about the trading system and how I actually conduct my trading in the service. So first of all, what is the service? The service is zero-dte.com. We're a Discord-based trading service, but it's really a coaching and mentoring service, and we focus around helping develop people into independent professional traders. So whether you are a newbie trader or a struggling trader or someone who is looking for a different strategy and process, or you're even a professional trader, this is the place for you. So what we do is we provide coaching and mentoring services. We have a family of strategies built around the Zero DTE event, and also our own proprietary methods and process. The process that we use is a continuous improvement process that's largely based on an agile methodology. So everything that we do is focused on the long-term development of traders. And currently we have, I'd say that there's about 1,000 members or so. At any one time, there may be 200 or 300 that are active in the Discord group. So it's very lively. We have hundreds and hundreds of messages every day. And I lead that group. Every day we have a daily meeting, lasts about an hour and a half, starts at 10:30 a.m. until about noon. Sometimes it goes a little over, where we talk about the trade, the strategies, the setup, etc., that we may have taken just prior to that when the market opened, or even before the market opened, because we trade options on the S&P, whether it's the SPX index or the micro XSP or the futures, the E-mini S&P futures. So those all allow us to, or afford us the ability to be able to trade Zero DTE 5 days a week on those weekly options. So that's what we do. I lead that group through there, and then later in the afternoon, you probably have noticed that if you look at my YouTube channel on the live section, every day I have a live stream from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock until the close. So I've been doing that now for the better part of a year, I guess, and I'll continue to do that. All right, so let's get to the performance and how it actually came about and what's the story behind it all. All right. So I'm going to, first of all, go to my site, zero-dte.com, and to the trade log tab. All right. So that's what we see here. And here's the tab up top, trade log. All right, so here's a summary of, now this is my personal trading record. However, I think that anybody that has become skilled or knowledgeable of our Zero-DTE process and strategies and methods, that they too can achieve a similar performance. I'm not saying that this is what everyone's going to get up front, and that would be ridiculous, because people that learn something new, it takes you time before you become adept to all the strategy, the basics, the fundamentals, and then start developing some skill around that. But anyways, this is my trading, and this trade log goes back 206 calendar days. Some of the highlights of this performance, as you can see, first of all, we have very little drawdown. Our drawdown has never exceeded, my drawdown, I should say. My drawdown has never exceeded 3.25%. Now, when I started this, I started with a trading capital of $23,000. But let me be clear about this. I have never had at any time in the account that I'm trading at that time $23,000. There's never been more than, say, $3,000 or $4,000. However, I keep separate accounts with that amount of money, in it, and really my purpose for this is to show that I'm trading at what I would consider an appropriate position size level for that. But what I do is I have a few other accounts and I keep that extra money in there, and I try to keep my current trading account very small so that I am always subject to the pattern day trading rule, etc. And I never really have much less than, say, $1,500. So I have to be very diligent about the positions that I put on, and they're usually just singular positions. I don't do much more than one position, maybe two positions in a day. You could say that with the Batman strategy, you're always doing at least two positions. So that's what I'm saying is I usually take a minimal position, and my risk is sized as if it were a mid $20,000 account. That's the point. So anyways, some of the highlights of this are, well, first of all, the win rate might be surprising to some. It's only about 50%. But over that period of time, a little bit over half a year, a little bit under 2/3 of a year, I'm currently sitting at about a 36% return on that $23,000. Now, let me just remind you that I've never had $23,000 in the account. All right. I'm trading like I had 23. I've never had more than, like I said, I've never had more. I think the max that I've ever had was maybe $3,800. And when I got to that point, I took $1,700 out and put it into one of the other accounts. And so I started again with $1,500. That's basically what I do. So, but as I said, I'll repeat, I'm trading as if they were 23,000 or 25,000 or whatever. So so when I say that the return is 35.73%, I'm doing it based on the current total, my imaginary total of whatever I have in there, and that's my return of the original starting capital. Now I have a larger account that has, an order of magnitude more than that I also trade with this, but I don't involve that in this. So anyways, that's all part of sort of the purpose of demonstrating the power of this strategy, that you can trade with a mid-sized account and get this type of return with a minimally sized position. So there have been a total of 166 trades, 84 winners, 82 losers, for a 50.6% win rate. This is probably the most notable thing here is the average win to average loss, right? It's approximately 2-to-1. And currently, at least by the amount of return that I've had over this, if you added it on to $23,000, the amount of this account now is standing at $31,216, or about a 36% return after two-thirds of a year, or less than 2/3 of a year. Gross profit $17,000, gross loss $8,000, net profit $8,216. Now here's the cool part. Because we're trading an asymmetric strategy where we take very small risk and we're looking for outsized profits, orders of magnitude greater than the risk that we take, unlike other high probability strategies, which are exactly the opposite. They take huge risks to make tiny little profits. So where my average risk per trade is only $135, I have the potential of making quite a bit more than that. Now, the largest return that I've had so far on a single trade is almost $1,500. The largest loser was $363, and that was actually, I think I doubled up on one trade and ended up losing it. That was very rarely do you see a loss much greater than the risk that I take. And I'll show you the trade log in a little bit so you'll see what I'm talking about. Max drawdown has been 3.25%. Now let me say something about max drawdown. If you were a trader and you've been doing this for any length of time, if you're a professional trader, or regardless of whatever type of trader you are, a swing trader, day trader, whatever, you would probably give your left arm to get a 10% max drawdown, because that is a rarity, an absolute rarity. And a 10% max drawdown is considered unbelievable. All right. So, but mine is 3.25%. So that really attests to the power and viability of this strategy in taking small positions and doing this asymmetric risk to reward. So right below that is our, and of course, here's the average risk to reward that I take is 1 to a little bit over 9, 1 to 9. So every dollar that I put to risk, I have a max potential profit of $9 on average. And so this is the equity curve right here that you see. And you'll never see any big drawdowns. Down below is showing the drawdowns. Sometimes we go sideways, but generally this type of strategy creates a rather unique equity curve. It's kind of stair-stepping, You go up, you kind of go sideways for a little bit. Go up, go sideways, up, sideways. And that's basically how it goes. Down here is showing the return, the distribution of returns. And so you can see that we have a bunch of small losses, a bunch of small wins, and then a bunch of medium-sized and outsized wins. This is called a right skewed with a fat tail. And although I'd say that's more like a skinny tail, but it's still significant. And with the introduction of the Batman strategy, this distribution is going to change a little bit, where the number of small wins and small losses are going to decrease a little bit, and it's going to shift a little bit more to the tail end, with creating what I call a fat tail. So these outliers will start getting bigger and bigger. And this chart right below it is the risk to reward frequency of all the trades. It's showing that the vast majority of them are 1 to 8 to 1 to 9, right in that area. So when you average it all out, it's a little bit over a 1 to 9. So most trades that we start off with, that's how we start, with a 1 to 9 risk to reward ratio. We're always putting on asymmetric trades. Typically, we'll put on an out of the money butterfly, symmetrical butterfly. Sometimes we use other variants of the butterfly. Sometimes it's an unbalanced fly. Sometimes it is a broken wing fly, or a combination of the two, or singular out of the money directional. And sometimes we use what we call the Batman trade, where we play both sides of the market at once. So there's a lot of variety. And then, of course, is my trade log. And so you can view all the trades there and exactly how everything went. Now, this comes directly from my spreadsheet, which I'll show you now. Here's the spreadsheet. And this is the summary part. And then this is the actual trade log. And you'll see a lot of similarities. You see the charting and everything is built into it. And one thing that I want to show you about the losses that we take, because we take such small losses, we're never really managing our losses. We only manage our profits. So if you see here, every place where I've gone into a trade, cost basis, see, it's this column, and then where I exited, those areas where I exited at 0, like here or there, see, they go to 100% loss. All the losers are generally, well, you can see the losses over here in red, but you'll see that all the losers are usually 100% loss. Well, this one's a little bit different, but that's an anomaly. Well, let's look like right here. See, all 100% loss, or here. All right. So that's generally how we roll. We don't really protect the risk because it's small enough where we don't have to, and it doesn't really affect us. Occasionally, you have to manage your risk, and particularly in the Batman strategy, we do protect our risk a little bit more, because if you're putting on 2 out-of-the-money flies, then you have double the risk. So we generally don't allow those to go under 50% loss on those. So there you go. There's the entire trade log. You'll see that I'm trading the SPX, the ES, and the XSP in here. Now, lately, I've traded the XSP a little bit more often. When I feel like the market is giving me lemons, I'll tend to retract a little bit and trade a little bit smaller. And for those of you who are wondering whether or not I include commissions and fees, I absolutely do. Here's my lookup table with all the commissions and fees for the various things that we trade. And that's a lookup table where the fee itself is figured right into the net cost or the net profit. So all of my data that you see is with commissions and fees included. It's a very important point. All right, and then here's the overall win rate, the net return over that period, and the average winner to average loser. So it's approximately 2 to 1. All right, so let's go back to me. That should provide you a pretty, they're saying, make it bigger, please. I'm sorry. It's high def, so you should be able to see it. It's the biggest that I can make it. I suppose that I could go to here and make this bigger, right? So it's a little easier to see that. All right. Of course, you can always go to the trade log. It's at 0-DTE.com. All right, Oscar's asking, what broker do you use? I use Thinkorswim. Well, I use Thinkorswim, and I also use Fidelity. Fidelity has my my larger account, and Thinkorswim has the account that I use as sort of my reference account for the service. But I've used just about every broker there is. I've used Tasty Trade. I've used Interactive Broker. I've used TradeStation and many others. So, you know, as when I was an institutional trader and a fund manager, I used TradeStation and also Interactive Broker. I also included Thinkorswim in there as well. But when I was trading, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, I was generally using TradeStation or Interactive Broker. All right. Let's see. So there you go. There's our performance. Let's see, I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see this, right? So there it's nice and big, so you can see it just perfectly. And there's the equity curve. And then the drawdown. The drawdown is the lowest point that you had after a previous high. All right, so your previous high will go to 0 on the drawdown right there, and then whatever the lowest point that it goes to after that. All right, so I had a drawdown here and had a drawdown here, but it's never from the previous high to the drawdown. It's never gone more than 3.25%. And then here's the return distribution and the frequency. All right, so if you're interested in our service, the pricing is right up here. You can join the free trial, not a free trial. It's not a free trial, by the way. However, it is essentially free if you join the service, because once you join, then I rebate the cost of the trial. And we have a few different plans. We have lifetime plan, yearly plan, and this isn't the quarterly plan. I'll have to change that. That is the monthly plan. I had the quarterly plan in there, and then I just changed that this morning, so I have to update that. All right, but 4-week trial, $19.99 a week, and quite frankly, you can take the trial for as long as you want, and then when you're ready to join, then you can. Most people go for the yearly plan. I would say that 90% of the members have gone for the yearly plan. All right. There you go. Max is exclaiming that we're live on Saturday. Wow. And Sunday too. So every Sunday we have a retrospective meeting for the service as well. As I said, we follow an agile process. And what that really means is that we break our trading down into the smallest possible component and then evaluate each one of those pieces. We're big on keeping accurate logs, a trading journal, and then at the end of each week, you graduate that to and update your playbook. And then we have a retrospective at the end of each week to review our trades, how they went, what we did right, what we did wrong, what could be done to improve the process that we're on. So that's it. That's there's the trade log for this period. I think maybe in another 3 or 4 months, maybe I'll do this on a quarterly basis. So another 3 months or so, I'll do another update, and then we'll go from there. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Peace to you all, and we'll see you on Monday. Take care.